Kindred's Curse Saga. I don't know why that was very hard for me to say. Welcome back to another vlog. It's currently Sunday late morning and I thought I could bring you along for my Sunday / a few days in my life. I am just about to go out kayaking, so it's going to be a fun start to the vlog. Yes, I'm in my pajamas now, but I didn't film after kayaking, but it was so much fun. My partner and I then went out for lunch and then we did a big grocery shop. Now it's finally time to chill out for the rest of the afternoon. I'm currently reading Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. This is like a cozy fantasy read. I am only 120 pages in, so I really want to get a big chunk of this read today. I'm about to head to Pilates, but before that, I wanted to go through 10 books I want to read before the end of the year. 10 before the end. I've seen this going around on TikTok and YouTube, so I thought it would be fun. I know that some of you might not be into books, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each book, but I thought it would be a little bit of fun to document like kind of an end of year TBR, and we'll see how many we get to. Do I have a list of 25 books I wanted to read in 2025, and am I only halfway through that list? Yes. Are any of those books on here? Only one. But, but I make my own rules. So let's go through here. This is in no particular order, by the way. The first book is Remarkably Bright Creatures. If you're on Book Talk, BookTube, Bookstagram, you've probably heard about this book. It is a general fiction with a little bit of a mystery element. You're following a female main character who is an aquarium cleaner and an octopus Marcel. And yes, that does sound weird, but I'm very excited to read it. Next, we have Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I was supposed to start this before I started Uncharmed, but I needed just a bit more of a cozy book. So this is hopefully going to be one of my next reads. But I don't know if it counts as a sequel or a prequel, but if you've read Bright, it's in the same world. This is more of her like fantasy romance book. It follows werewolves, and I believe the female main character in here is like a half-breed, half werewolf, half human. So I'm very excited about that. A holiday one, so this will be a Christmas read. I have Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. This is her new release. I do have a few other holiday books that I want to read this year, but this is the main one that I'm hoping to get through. So this will be a December Christmas read. Next, One Golden Summer. I thought that this would be a good book to take away on holiday. So this is by Carly Fortune. You're following the older brother from, I think it's called Every Summer After. I read that book and I really hated the third scene breakup. Let's call it that. That book was a second chance romance and I hated that particular trope that was chosen as the breakup reason. But I've heard amazing things about this. I've heard that Charlie gets his redemption arc in this and it's really good. So I'm hoping that I trust you. I want to read this on holidays because I am worried that if I don't get to it, it might fall off my radar. So that is the next one. We have Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. I read the first two books this year and I rated them very highly. Like I think one was like 4.5, 4.75 and 5 stars. So I don't know why it's taken me so long to pick up the rest of the series. I think because I have to follow new characters and it is a very, very heavy book. It's the Boys of Tommen series. I would recommend reading your trigger warnings if you're going to pick these ones up. She's chunky. Like that might not look that chunky, but I think this one is just shy of 700 pages. 650 thereabouts. So I need to get to it. I am in the middle of a few like fantasy series, so I really shouldn't be starting a new series. However, I do really want to start the Kindred's Curse Saga. I don't know why that was very hard for me to say. So this is the So this is the first book, Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole, and I need to start it because I actually own the first 3 books. I have a terrible habit of buying the whole series. And does it come back to bite me sometimes? Yes, it does. But I have heard really good things. I actually don't really know what this fantasy world is about at all, but I want to read it, and the first book is not too long. So hoping to get to that. The one book that was on my list of 25 books to read in 2025 is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And yes, I still haven't read this book. This is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's one of the books that people tend to read when they're first getting back into reading because apparently it is amazing. I know that it is more of your literary fiction, woman's fiction, and you're following a reclusive Hollywood movie icon who is finally ready to share her story. I think it's kind of like an interview kind of back and forth between the 2 characters, but I've heard really, really good things. I've read a couple of books in this similar kind of setting and I have really enjoyed them, so I'm excited to get to it. I just need to get there. I am embarrassed to say this, but I've actually never read the Hunger Games series. I own the first 4, so I own the special edition versions of them, so I'd really like to start them. So I've got Hunger Games to start, and then we'll go from there. Wow, I didn't realize that. Look at the spacing of the words on this page. It shouldn't take me too long to read. So that will be a great one to finally tick off my list. One that is the opposite and will take me a really long time to read, though, is Alchemized. Yeah. By Sen Linju. Look at this thick boy. So thick. This is also a fantasy book, but my understanding is much more darker. Like, it is heavy. I think it's almost 1,000 pages. Actually, it's over 1,000 pages. So this will be the longest book I think I've ever read. I think this beats the final book in the Throne of Glass series. But I want to know what all the fuss is about. I think this one I will have to get on Audible too, because that's really chunky for me. But that is the 9th book. And then the 10th and final book is The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I haven't really heard many people talk about this, but it just looks fun. It's a short one. I think it'll be a good summer read. I also want to take this on my trip to Mauritius for my 30th birthday. So that is book number 10. So we have a few different genres in there. I'll be curious to see how many of these 10 books I get to. But that's kind of the end of year TBR, I should say. But enough chit chat, let's go to Pilates. Hello, I haven't spoke to you for a few days, but you haven't missed too much. I just had work during the week and then I went to tennis a couple of nights. I also finally started Alchemized. Look at this big chunky book. It's like just over 1,000 pages. I'm reading the paperback and then I also have it on Audible just to help me get through it. But I am up to page 18, so 230 pages in and I'm loving it. Like, I can already see why it is over 1,000 pages because it doesn't feel like I've read 230 pages. I feel like I'm only just starting to understand the world. I don't even really know how to explain this book, but it is a dark fantasy. So if you want to read it, just check your trigger warnings for this one. But I do like a dark paranormal fantasy vibe. It's got necromancers, vivomancers, transference. Loving it. But I thought I better pop on because I actually went to Fremantle yesterday and I filmed a bit of footage whilst I was at Fremantle, but I never spoke to you before. So I'm going to include that now and then I'll see you later.